Hey everybody, welcome back to Around the Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today I am blessed to bring back one of my favorite guests ever, Sarmistha Mitra. Hi Sarmistha.
Hi, Sarah. It feels so good to be back, and to see this familiar face again.
It's so good to have you back. You are honestly one of the coolest guests I've ever had. I know that you're also the founder of the Wellbeing Sanctuary, CEO and founder of the Wellbeing Sanctuary, and I know that you have two really important books that you've recently written and published about trauma and processing feelings and toxicity. So I'd love to hear more about these books and why you wrote them.
Right. I don't know, in my life, I think last time I was trying to get people understand, like everything happened just within some short time. It was not like I was thinking for years that I'm going to write a book, or within a period of 3 months, I wrote 5 books. Like it just kept coming on and on and on. It's like as if the creatrix in me awakened suddenly, and all that was stored inside had to come out on paper or on print.
Wow.
So I have yet 3 books to print. This year I'm going to publish the other 3 books. And all these books are about spiritual awakening, self-healing, understanding the depth of our journey, that no matter, even if our life ends today, our journey continues because we leave behind imprints in others who we interact with in our lives, right? So even if, like, I'm no longer there, but I have interacted with so many people, and my imprint will be there, which is going to be the legacy that is going to be carried forward. And we all need to keep that in mind, that it's not, oh, I slap you and you slap me back and it's over. No, it's not over. We're going to leave back that residue, whether it's a good karma or a bad karma, we're going to leave back that residue for others, our descendants and the generations that will come ahead of us. So just be mindful in what we do, what we say, how we act today, so that those people who are coming after us don't have to go through all the shit, that we had to carry from our forefathers, like we are carrying it on our shoulders. So all the books are about that. The first 2 books, The Trauma Bonding and Attachment, was the first book that came out during this period, and it is all about it. Like it was like I was doing a session with a client who is going through the cycle of trauma bonding. And every time we do a session, and then after she feels good, and then after a few days, she calls me back and she says, "Oh, we got back together, and this is what happened. I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't know how I release myself from this." So this is something that many people go through in their life, like because we go through relationship pain, unexplained pain, and we don't know why. Why are we going through it? Why do we deserve this?
No,
So
I appreciate the fact that you focus on something that is not just one person goes through it, but multiple people, your own clients have gone through it. And I appreciate that you're coming at it from such a candid perspective as well as an expert, but also you're coming at it as a human. I really appreciate that.
yeah, it's like understanding yourself in the most compassionate way, not judging yourself for not taking that decision which was good for you. Sometimes we can't take the decision which is good for us because we don't understand what is behind us, or behind in the mind, in the neurons, in the neurological way. So this book explains completely how the neural pathways are created, associated to pain and release, how dopamine is released in the brain every time we go through pain, and we get addicted to the dopamine, not to the person. So we get addicted to the dopamine that is released, and it feels like the only way we can get that high is by getting back to the relationship again. So there's a lot of deeper understanding of how the mind works, how the neuron works, how the neurotransmitters work when we are in a cycle, and then a deeper understanding of why we attract such relationships in our life. And when we understand that, then we can actually free ourselves from that. And then there is actionable steps and exercises to free ourselves from those kind of bonds.
That is very cool. I love that it's like a two-way engagement. It's not just a book that you've written for people to read. That's only one part of it. I love that there are exercises in there. People can really associate kind of your advice and your exercises with their own situations and learn from that. And this kind of brings me to my next question for you, bringing together all of this like scientific plus kind of engaging content in one book. What kind of challenges did you experience with that, and how did you overcome
The challenge while writing was not, no, there was no challenge because it was like I told you, as if it was like a fountain of wisdom that was coming out of me. I mean, I didn't want to, or I was not intending to. It was like it was coming out until I finished and done it. I couldn't stop. Like, I got after 3 months, I had to go to the ophthalmologist because I got acute dry eyes. Sitting on the computer and writing 5 books in 3 months is not a joke because I have been doing my other work like as a therapist. I have been also doing that work as a business owner. I have been going around and finishing my responsibility. I have a family and my social life, all of that together with writing a book. So I had to put in extra time and extra days to finish that, but that affected my eyes so much that I have acute dry eyes now. I have to constantly put drops to keep them lubricated. But that I didn't foresee that this might be happening. That was not something which I had foreseen. But
how did
other
you
than that,
balance all of those things though? How did you balance being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, having your family, having your social life, the books? How did you maintain all of that?
I had been, I know, I know it might sound a little cliche, but I had been very good with managing my time, very, very good. So I would never give you an excuse that, oh, I'm so busy, my days are blocked, I don't have time. For me, if I want to make time, I know I will be able to make time. So I have been very, very organized with time for a very long time. I wake up very early in the morning, around 4:35 every day, 365 days. I wake up, I do my meditation while there is no sound, no noise in the house, and everything is quiet. I just hear the sound of nature. And I meditate that time, and I get all my inspirations during that time, those early hours where there is like completely I'm connected to everything around me, and that is where I get all the inspiration, the thoughts and the ideas. Oh, something pops up in the mind. Okay, this plant is going through this. Oh, this is what is happening, right? So those like bubbles kind of burst in the brain during those early hours of the day. And then I have a very disciplined life. I do the same things at the same time every day, which can be boring for a lot of people. But this regularity and discipline helps calms down my nervous system. It doesn't get me into the fight and flight mode all the time. So that helps me in my work as well, because when we are in the flight and fight mode, psychologically, you'll not be productive and 100% focused in your work.
I no, I hear what you're saying. I think it is important. Your time is so valuable that it's important for you to protect that energy and to be able to fraction it out almost on the things that matter the most to you. And this also brings me to my next question about the fact that you wrote 5 books, right? That you're publishing. You published the first two, and the next three are on the way. What is the main kind of difference between the 5 books? Like, why did you write each book differently?
So the every book, like I only wrote one fiction, the others are all non-fiction. The Timeless Wisdom, a Chronicle, is a fiction, a metaphysical fiction, by the way. So it's not a normal fiction. Metaphysical means it shows you the whole diaspora of life, the pain and the redemption as well. So together, it brings life together with the pain and the redemption. It's not a life of pain and victimhood and misery and suffering, but there are those magical moments that redeems us. So it connects that. And there are 12 short stories of 12 people. And those are all real people who I've met in my life. Some of them were my client stories, some of them would be my family, my friends, who I met, but yeah, a little. I just tweaked a bit of their stories. It's not exactly who they are, but the elements that touched my heart are put into the stories and brought them together. How their moments of pain and suffering, and how the redemption or the magic that sparks in our life all of a sudden redeems us from all of that, and how we go back to complete surrendering and loving ourselves once again. So all those stories are about suffering, though it's a our human nature to suffer. But at the same time, there is this magic in this life as a human being, which redeems us every time. And every story deals with a pain. It starts with a pain, and then it shows how that same person redeemed themselves from the pain.
I love the fact that you're using the word redeem yourself, like redeem yourself, regain your power, that there is pain in life, but there is a healthy way to process it. There is a way for us to understand it and to harness that to channel that energy into something better. And I appreciate the fact that you took stories from people in real life that you were inspired by those stories. So it's not something that you just made up necessarily. It's something that actually happens in the real world in day-to-day life. And I'm curious, where can people find your books right now?
The books are on most of the platforms, online platforms like Amazon, Lulu, Barnes and Noble. I think Kindle. Yeah, Kindle. It's the ebooks are in Kindle and Lulu bookstores, and the paperback would be in Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I think you just have to order, and it can be delivered to your home or address wherever you are.
Perfect. And is there a final message you want to leave with the listeners today about the books and why you wrote them?
Yeah, I mean, I would love these books to be tributes to everyone, because it's our life as human beings. Sometimes our own pain makes it feel like, oh, there is nothing worth living in this life. But I mean, those books will help you understand that you are creating magic every day. You just need to have a different kind of understanding of the magic. It's not the kind of magic that we see in the movies. That's why we don't relate to it. But if we just have a different kind of understanding to look at life from that perspective with a different filter, then we will be able to see magic unfolding every day and having so much love and understanding of this precious life that we have.
That is such a beautiful message, and it's such a message of positivity and hope. And I really appreciate you taking the time to speak about your books with me today.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me once again, and all the best to you. I wish you all the best.